just like a model, leading the way and they follow. I'm turning it up, burn it up like a sauna, and I'm gonna be who I wanna. Freaking the bad like I'm Crystal, breaking the mood like an idol. I'm turning it up, burn it up like a sauna, and I'm gonna be who I wanna. She gon' be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that. I want moves like whoa, hella style, confidence. I want swag like hey, slaying in every way. I'm working all day, I'm not, don't need no help. I'ma be just fine. I'm all about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. 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 I wanna be that chick.
You ain't no damn body.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Another little pissant nobody who is trying to make a damn name for themselves.
But you have heard of me.
No, I'm the bee, like from nature.
Now the moment you've all been waiting for. The royal hostess with the mostest. The queen bee with the money, honey.
BeePlus.
That's right. And it's time you all bow to the real Queen Bee.
The most beautiful bee in the universe.
You're stealing all the bees just because you're jealous?
No, that's just a bonus. My actual plan is to capture all the queens. Their hives will then have no choice but to follow me.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to my long-awaited video here. I know I have not posted in quite some time. Some of it for obvious reasons, but we're going to talk about that today. And this is probably going to be a part one, because I know there's going to be stuff that I forget to include. I know I have like a billion thoughts going through my mind. I have a heck of a lot to say, and as much as I want to be able to get it all out here, there's a very good chance that I'll miss a couple points that I want to make. And you know, it just keeps evolving. You know, there just keeps more and more being added to it. And here's the thing, like I don't look at a lot of it. I have not watched the majority of it, except for clips that I've been sent. And that is because that regardless of what's being said now, regardless of what any of you choose to believe, it doesn't change the truth. So, you know, nothing is going to influence that. I'm only going to be saying the truth, and I'll put my own faults out there. I have no problem doing that. No problem whatsoever. So, yeah. So whatever you guys choose to believe going forward is your decision to believe, and that's fine. And like I've said 1,000 times, and I truly mean it, I don't judge anybody for who they choose to support. You know, that's your decision to make. I'm not gonna come at anybody for that. I never will do that. And I think that's because, you know, I understand why people, you know, they might enjoy. If your experience is good with somebody, then great. You know, I'm not, but please don't discount the experiences of people that are coming forward and saying that their experiences were not the same as yours. It doesn't mean we're lying. Not even close. And I have been shocked to see how many stories sound so similar to mine. And these are people I've never spoken to. So I don't know. And it's almost a little bit validating because this is something I've been grappling with for a really long time. And until a few days ago, I had no intention of doing this. I wanted to just part ways. I wanted to stay in my own lane, do my own thing. I did not want to have to come on here and do any of this because I had respect for Granny's watching. I had respect for her. I thought we were friends. I thought, you know, I genuinely cared about her, genuinely. So I was just going to do my own thing. And I wasn't going to, you know, go into other chats and talk about her. I wasn't going to participate in that. But, you know, after what I've seen the past few, all bets are off. I'm not, you know, going to be held to that. I have seen comments that like blow my mind. I have seen comments saying that I should just leave on, good terms and I should have left the community. Why should I have to leave the community? That doesn't make sense. I'm not going to do that. And a lot of the time you find out that, things aren't always as they seem and things aren't always how they were portrayed to you. And sometimes when you're caught up in stuff and you're going hard for somebody who you think is a friend, you see things a little differently. And then you take a step back and you're like, hey, like, why am I doing this? And like, I know, here's the thing. I've compiled anything that I've figured that could be used as ammo towards me or whatever, and I'll address all of it. I know people will be like, you said you'd never sit with Lycan. Yeah, okay, I did say that. But you need to understand my history with that to understand what went on there. So when he first came to this community or around it all, and I'm finding a lot of this out now, he went at me pretty hard. This is when he was hanging out with Jess, and he made a video about me. He would attack me in chats, and then I saw the stuff that was brought up from his past, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it because this. I'm not in the mood to deal with it. I don't. But it turns out that like he was being lied to, so like, and he's apologized for that, and I've, he knows everything that I've said. And, I've had a conversation about it because I wanted answers to some things that it became, my dogs are going to bark in a minute, that it became very, very clear that I wasn't getting the full story or the truth on. So I started trying to figure that out for myself, but that's a little bit further up in this thing. So, and here's my other thing. If you feel like you can't support me, that's fine. I understand that. You can feel however you want. You can choose to do with this whatever you want. And I'm not going to, I don't blame you. I mean, I see what people are saying, people that I genuinely like and still like are saying. And, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't hurtful. I'd be lying if I said, where's the evidence of me doing any of these things? Because there is none. So I'm not sure. But I'm trying to figure out where to even start here. So as those of you know, like I started, I was seeing stuff that was being done to Granny's watching that I didn't agree with. I was like, this is wrong. This shouldn't be happening. So I started making some pre-recorded videos about it, kind of standing up for her. And I meant it. And she and I began talking, and I started going into her chat. And I thought that, we were building an actual like mutual relationship there. And, we would talk for hours, like literally hours. And I genuinely thought that she was my friend. She would acknowledge me in chat. She'd bring me up on panel. We'd joke around. We'd text back and forth. And like, I genuinely thought that, here's somebody I can have a friendship with. Now, what you need to understand is what happened before that. So I have been a supporter. Like I had supported Granny since day one. I got a membership to her channel the day that you could, the day she started them. And when I came over from Natasha, I started hanging out in Granny's. And through that time, I had messaged her on Messenger a few times. And, my dog, I'm going to have to get up and give her something to do because she's about to start. Oh. Molly, you need to stop, honey. Please, girl. Hold on. Oh my God. Like, this is why we can't have nice things. But that Christmas, right? So this was the last Christmas. I hadn't, I was doing much better for myself financially than I am now. I found myself in a not a great situation, but I had some extra, money. So I said to her, I really could, I could pull up the messages, but I'm not going to, because I'm not going to do that. I'll read my own messages, but I'm not bringing hers into this. That's not something I'm going to do. But I even said to her, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I have support, you're a single mom. And, I know that, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without my parents' help when I absolutely need it. And like, I have so much respect for that. So and of course her response to this will be, well, I didn't ask you to. Well, I don't know. That sounds a little ungracious to me, but I spent probably a little over $100 on gifts for her and her children. And I don't even want to have to come out and say this to you. Like, I don't even like, but whatever, it is what it is. And we're going to do this and we're going to move on. And this is the only time I'm going to address it. End of story. All I ever wanted was to do my own thing, but here we are. So I had done that. And then I had mentioned to her that I wanted to make a channel. So I made my channel. I didn't know what I was going to do with my channel. I had no idea. And so I started, and I noticed that since then she, had thrown jabs at me saying I was going in her chat and advertising my channel or something. And like, I don't remember whether I did that or not. I mean, if I did, it wasn't like malicious. Like I didn't mean to go in there and like make her mad. This was somebody I was in her chat every single day. So I kind of just backed off and I started just doing my own thing. And I didn't talk about Granny. You can, all of my lives are still up, every single one of them. You can go listen to them for yourselves. I don't talk about Granny. It turns out later that even at that point, she believed that I was talking about her, which I was not. And you can all go listen to that for yourselves and you tell me what you think. And then, that's because I've had a lot of information come out and I've known things that I never mentioned because I wanted to put like bygones be bygones. But I know a lot more than I say, and none of it is relevant to anybody else on here. So it doesn't need to be said, or else you want to go there. So what happened was, and I'm trying to think because there's so many things that happened. So many. But anyways, like as things went on, I ended up, like, because I started standing up for some of the stuff that happened to her. I said something about when her Natasha brought her dad into things. I did not like how a lot of things were handled. In fact, nobody can deny. I mean, Jess, I reached out to you after a lot of stuff happened. When the diary pages went out, I'm like, hey, I don't know like what's going on, but all I know is that it can't be a good feeling for you to have all of these people turn on you. I mean, here I am though experiencing that now. And I reached out to her and made sure she was okay. I remember when Pesky had that whole incident. I made sure I reached out to her, making sure that she was okay, because I felt bad that she had that put on her, because that's a horrible feeling, especially for someone in recovery. Stuff like that sometimes can push you over the edge. I went up on her panel. I tried to be supportive. I always was supportive. I was the first person to stand up about saying, and I still will stand by this, I don't care what anybody says. I don't think anybody should be discussing her health. Don't do it. I'm not here for that. And I stand by that. There's a lot of things that I stand by that, regardless of what she does to me. In fact, there's something I'm going to stand up for her that Natasha said today. Because regardless, that was wrong. And I don't care if she hates my guts and she's been dragging me for days and has been talking shit about me probably since the entire time I've known her. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, whatever. I'm still going to stand up against it. But so, I mean, I thought we had a friendship. I had always checked in on her. And I've heard bits and pieces of what she's saying about it. I mean, if at any point she didn't like me, or you think I was annoying, or, I mean, what the hell? Wait. What the hell? Oh, okay, hold on. If that, no, she didn't say anything to me. I mean, I thought I had a friend. And then, like, I don't know. I was never going to, like, and I meant, and, the thing that I saw that she posted, all that does is show what a good friend I am. I meant every word of those things. And I know, like, she's saying, well, look what you're doing now. Yes, I'm doing this now because I found out information that I didn't have before. I go hard for friends. You communicated loud and clear that you did not want to be my friend. Let's be honest, right? It started with, you started, like, it started, I don't even know when it started, but and I had people that were telling me this forever. I mean, I can pull up the troll comments that are ironic now, given what's happened. And I mean, I'm all over the place. I have ADHD. I'm trying to do this in like an organized fashion here, but the point of the matter is that she can't deny that I was there for her for every single thing that happened, and I made sure to reach out and check on her and make sure she's okay, because that's what friends do. I genuinely care. It broke my heart, honestly. Like, you guys can think that's stupid or sappy or weird or whatever, but like, this is somebody that I've always felt like I connected with, like, since the get-go. She and I have a lot in common. At least I thought we did. And I always had like this soft spot in my heart, and I wanted to be friends. And then it started with like, you know, first of all, she stopped coming to my chats. And this is what you guys tell me that communicated to you that I had a problem with her. So like, let's make it known, you know, she did this first, right? She stopped coming to my chats. And then she would stop acknowledging me in hers. And she can say it's because she didn't see me but you know, you're saying hello to the person above and below me, and it's really consistent. And other people thought the same. They were like, yeah, you know, because at first people were saying like, you know, people were like, you know, because I would message people I'm close with on here, and I'd be like, I don't know, I think Jess is ignoring me. Like, I don't know if I did something or what. And like, they're like, I mean, you're just being paranoid. And I'm like, yeah, probably. But I don't think so, because it was consistent, you know, literally pretending I don't exist. Didn't respond to my text messages. And I know that she can say now it's because I was annoying and that but if you didn't like me, Jess, why let me fight your battles? I got endless amounts of hate for standing up for you. Endless that I sent you. And you know, you couldn't even have like, and here you are saying that I didn't deserve the decency for you to come to me. Excuse me? Can you show me when I was in somebody else's chat or talking about you prior to this? Because you're not going to find it, public or private. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. I had no intention of doing this. In fact, I kept silent because I'm like, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't, you know, but I had my reasons, right? I told you I wanted to back away from stuff because this is like an emotional roller coaster for me. And I'm dealing with my own stuff, right? You know, and I wasn't, you know, I didn't back away from your chat because I had a problem with you, Granny, you know, but if you're going to have, we're going to get into that in a second. I do need to go give my dog something to do because she's about to start barking. Hold on. Molly. All right, I'm sorry, guys. She's probably going to start again because she's just been terrible. So, I don't know. And I don't have anything to give her. Like, I don't have a bone or like any treats for her or anything. So, all I have is peanut butter. So, yeah. But what was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying now. Great. Because there's just so much to this, you know. And like, here's throughout it, like, you know, and I've always been super supportive, and I've sent super chats, I've sent Venmo, I donated to the PayPal fund for the vacation. I've bought items off of her wish list, and this is all like, you know, throughout the summer and stuff. And I was always really supportive, whenever I could be, you know, because I do freelance work, so like my money, I don't always have a consistent amount of money coming in, right? So, unfortunately, sometimes it's more than others, and like, you know, sometimes it's not a whole lot. I mean, there were times that I'm being left with $200 after my mortgage to, you know, for bills and food, and it's not enough. But I know what you said, that I have rich parents, so they should be taking care of me, and we'll get into that, because that is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. I'm 34 years old. My parents don't owe me like their care. I'm an adult. Like, I'm supposed to take care of myself. I don't understand how, because my parents are rich, nobody should donate to me and support. That makes no sense. But I mean, it's turned out that you've been trying to stop people supporting me for quite some time. So, I mean, here we are, right? That was news to me as well. And I don't understand how, like, any of that is okay. And for what? For what? You have, there's nothing, like, then she didn't acknowledge me in chat. So we'll go back there. Wasn't responding to my texts. And even so, I'm like, I really like Jess. I care about her. It's cool. It's cool. I'm still going to support her and defend. And I did. I did. And then I did my fundraiser to go to Texas. And I went to Texas because I did what I said and showed it. And all through that, nobody, texted me to check in on me. The people who did text me or comment in my comment section to check in on me were, they're going to be very important later on in this story. So that was, I think I got back home, what was it, like the 24th, 20 something of August. And after that, I went right back into Granny's chat and I said hello. And that was when I walked in, she was talking about me. And about how Kim and Crafton had probably reached out to me and Kim was going to manipulate me. And then Angela said, I hope he's not that stupid. Well, at that point, guys, like, Kim and Crafton had not reached out to me. And I said that to her privately. That's just not true. And I was kind of irritated to go in and hear her saying that, because when she says that up on her panel, that kind of implies to her whole audience that I am doing those things, which wasn't happening. So that's where those texts that she showed were from. And, you did answer my questions about why. I guess it wasn't the typing thing, but here's the thing. Why didn't you send it? And those texts were not the last text I sent. Some of it is just, what did I do that doesn't deserve decency? Seriously, I would like to see it. Show me what I did to you, Jessica, that doesn't deserve the decency to come to me. Please. Because I even came to you and asked if we were okay, because I started receiving these messages, and we'll read them, because now I'm looking at them in a whole different light, let me tell you. There's just so many of them. Let's see. I don't want to pull up the wrong one. Is it this one? Yes. So I started getting ones like this from this person, Losers of Loserville. Because you are a loser who Granny only keeps around because you defend her like the desperate wannabe you are, her subs don't really like you. As I bet you saw for the award ceremony CJ did, it showed the whole world how people really think of you. How did it feel to see that nobody cares about your content or likes it? I'll admit, I think your videos is better than a lot of those clip channels, but people hate you so much you still came on last. Maybe now you will see what a loser you are and just go away. Granny will never like you, never defend you, and probably talks mad shit about you to everyone else. Wow. You are nothing, nobody, just here to give a healthy dose of reality. Wow. Losers of Loserville, who are you? Because, could you contact me privately now? Because you're spot on. This turned out to be true. Imagine that. So this was back in, what was it, August? And I was receiving emails, like tons of emails. Did I upload those to here though? I don't want to. Then there was it, this one. Oh yes, BeePlus granny panties don't like you. The subs don't like you. The only reason some watch is because you talk about Dorothy and Natasha. I dare you to talk. I was getting all of these troll comments. And I was getting relentless amounts of emails from, because I actually showed those. I posted those to my community tab a while back. But those were from an account called Granny Hates Emma at Gmail or something. And they were saying some really hurtful stuff. And it's like, it turns out they're right. Granny did hate me and has for quite some time. So I've been getting messages like this forever. So I messaged her and I said, hey, are we cool? Because there's somebody in my ear clearly trying to get me to hate you. And I don't know if somebody's doing the same to you, but I just want to make sure we're cool. And she never responded. But even then I continued to support her and go hard for her and make videos defending her, and go at people who were talking about her. It was news to me that she didn't like me, but clearly, there was stuff going on behind the scenes. And and we all know how well, oh my god, if my dog starts at this, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. I can't do this with her today. But yeah, so I had messaged her to see if we were okay because I was getting these messages. And like she didn't respond, and I'm like, okay, well, I would think that if somebody was messaging you, like I was telling you that somebody was doing this to me, I was thinking, maybe she'd stand up for me, or I don't know, say something like, yeah, B is my friend. But that never happened. And now I know why, because there was this going on behind the scenes. And I've always been clear that I don't do Discord. I don't have an account. I don't want to use it. So like, I'm sure she knew that I wasn't going to see that. But here's the thing, guys, like, what tuned me into that maybe it wasn't in my head and there was something going on. But the reason I took a big step back was because I have always had a thing with Brittany J. So Brittany J and there was some stuff that went on long before I started hanging with Granny, that did involve Granny actually, but it was more, I just don't appreciate being lied to. So like, to get me angry so that I go at somebody and then to find out. And that was like kind of the whole thing. I found out that the reason I was so angry at Granny was based on lies. And maybe they weren't lies, I don't know, but nobody had any proof. So I, whatever. But, I'm not going to be anywhere Brittany is. I don't like her. I don't like her. I'm never going to like her. That's not a secret. I've never been secretive about that. If Granny wants to go like that, that's fine. Right. But I'm not going to be anywhere that she is. But it doesn't mean I don't support Granny. Didn't mean that I was going around talking shit. You won't find that. Never happened. Never happened. I just don't want to be in chat if she's there or up on. I don't want to listen to her. End of story. It's personal preference. I don't know why anybody would have a problem with that. So there was that, and my mods like Michelle K and Rody Gal, notice things. So they would try to point it out to me, and other people did too. And I would be like, well, no, Granny's not like that. That's not what she means. You don't know her like I do. Nope, that's not right. And eventually people just give up and they're like, okay, well, I guess you're gonna learn. Because I didn't want to hear it. I like Jess. I thought Jess was a good person. I supported her wholeheartedly, and I thought she cared about me. So, but they've always had their opinions on her for longer than I have. And I mean, more so Rody Gal. I'm not really sure when that started with Michelle. So I don't want to lump them together because that's just not true. And because Rody Gal, was in Lycans and enjoys, and I don't care. I never cared, if you want to enjoy it. And I was kind of took a step back and I was like, it surprised me that she had a wrench in Lycans, and I wasn't sure how I was going to handle it, but it was more so because like, I didn't know how Jess was going to respond to that. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, it didn't bother me really. And we talked about it and we worked it out, but here's, so all of a sudden, I'm being expected to drop the only people that reached out to me to see how I was when I was, in Texas and dealing with some really emotional stuff. So I'm being expected to drop Michelle and Rody Gal as mods, and, never speak to Kim and Crafton and all of that just because Jess has a problem with that, or they've gone at Jess or whatever. When I never did that. That had nothing to do with me. And then you have Brittany in there who I have a problem with, but that's okay. And it is okay. I want to make that clear. It is okay for her to have Brittany in there. That's really ridiculous for me to say that, she has to have issues with everybody I do. That's not how this works. But apparently it's like good for you, but not for anybody else. You know what I mean? The good for thee, but not for me phrase. That is, couldn't be further from that, not further from the truth. It's very true is what I'm trying to say. And, so there was that. And even then, I wasn't going to do anything because I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this. I like Jess. I support her. Like, and I really wasn't on YouTube almost at all at that point because, like, I was dealing with my own stuff personally. I wasn't in chats. I didn't, I wasn't being passive aggressive to her. I was talking, my channel has been to talk about Natasha. I was talking about Natasha in a lot of that. Some of it was directed as at somebody who is from my old, I guess you could say, community, but it's an old business partner who's been skulking around chats in here. And I didn't really want to go into detail about my history with him. And I know he listens to me, so I was throwing jabs that way, but those weren't about Jess, and I don't even know how she could possibly interpret those as being about her. That doesn't make sense to me at all. But I was mostly talking about Natasha. I wasn't throwing jabs at her passive aggressively. I don't know where she got that from. I genuinely don't. I don't know what chats I was supposedly in. No clue. No clue. I probably went in and said hello in Kim and Crafton's once in a while because, like, I'm not going to stop supporting people that I like. And that it all kind of died down. And I'm like, maybe we can, I don't know, be adults. And I just said hello. And, they were talking about stuff, but they weren't even talking about Jess. At any point, like, if there are clips or whatever, please show me because I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them. So like I said, I'm still not sure of the crime that I'm guilty of that makes it so I am not worthy of the decency to come to privately before you drag me. Still not seeing where I committed some heinous act like against you, Jessica. Still not seeing it. So and I wasn't, and then I told my story as to I wasn't on YouTube like at all. I came on and there's a large creator. He has like 635,000 subscribers. He might have more now. I don't know. And he had the mental health awareness in his title and as a hashtag while he was dragging a woman who had come forward accusing him of SA. And that triggered me because I don't like that. I don't agree with that. And I was really upset by it. And I've always felt this way about big corporations kind of trying to get in on things for content and, their own self-promotion when not doing anything for the communities or, marginalized groups that they're trying to help. Yeah, I've always been very vocal about that. I do like a Facebook post at least once a year about it in some way or another. So I posted a community post about it. And lo and behold, I, get a text saying you really should go look at the comment section. Because I was actually in the process of recording a video at that time to go further into my views on that. Because I was like, you know what, this is interesting. I want to put out the rest of it. And I'm getting told that, I'm talking about Jess when nobody was talking about Jess. Nobody was talking about her. None of that post was about Jess. I had no idea Jess had gone live. I had just clicked on YouTube. Like, what the actual fuck? And all of that was getting thrown at me. And they were like, well, you need to be careful about what you say. And Angela even said, maybe you should, silence is golden. Maybe you should just say nothing at all. Well, why should I be quiet? Because I'm afraid of if Jess thinks it's about her. Why does Jess think it's about her? Is what I'd like to know. In fact, I'm about to play a clip for you. Why do other people think that I'm talking about Jess? I don't know because I wasn't. That's not going to cross my mind. I want to speak whatever I want to talk about. And you know what, Jess, you've said the same thing that's exactly what you want too. And we can play that. We can play how you feel about these things. And then you tell me how it's fair that you're like saying that I'm some terrible human being for what you like here. Let's do this, right? Hold on. This was on Queen Bee's channel, by the way, guys. So these are two clips.
On history. So what cracks me up is Jameson keeps saying that I was talking about you without talking about you. Now, Jameson, unless you saw what I was saying as something Queen Bee is doing, why would you presume that I was talking about Queen Bee? Right? So that's the way you see it because that's not who I was speaking on. So it's funny that you automatically hear that and you correlate it to Queen Bee. There's literally dozens. Do you guys know how big YouTube is? This is our community. And I am so sick of being watched and monitored and looked for an excuse for this guy to attack me. I have every single right to go around the community I am part of and participate in conversations without being literally sought out and attacked.
Well, Jess, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more with both of those comments you just made. Those were very true statements. I don't like it either. So if you don't like it done to you, stop doing it to other people. Seriously. And up until this point, even after I had gotten jumped on and attacked, and at that point, I had pretty much figured out that there was something going on. I'm like, there's definitely something going on. And then my, videos, people stopped watching them. I wasn't breaking even 100 views, and that's not normal. And then I had all my memberships canceled. And I was, bringing in no money from YouTube. And I'm like, there is something going on, but I couldn't prove it. So I kept it to myself. And even until that point, I had not publicly said anything about Jess ever. And I don't know what chats. I have no idea, because like that was her response to me, is that that's literally what she's saying here. Hold on, I'll pull it up. I blocked off her part of it because I'm not going to do that. But what was it? So these are my own chats to her. So what I wrote to her was, and this is on August 26th at 4:36 p.m. I think. And yes, I have 598 text messages. Yep, sure do. It says, Jess, I hope you know that I consider you a friend, and I'm not going to flip and become your enemy because someone love bombs me or whatever. I know and understand that it's hard to trust people on here after being burned as much as you have, but time will tell that if I consider you a friend. I don't operate like that. Supporting someone and considering them a friend are two different things to me. You've been there for me when I needed a friend more than anything. And I don't just forget kindness extended to me. I literally have been in Texas spending time with my birth mom who has spine cancer. So I really don't know what's been going on, but no matter what, I'm not going to just turn on you and suddenly be anti-GW. I just wanted to be sure you knew that. And you know what? Yes. So there was, when I was sick, when I had COVID, she did check in on me on that point. And this was when I'm like, that's another reason I thought we were friends, because it's like she did check in on me then. And then all of a sudden it stopped. But like, when I'm going through this with like Texas, like, she didn't do it then. And so that's what I'm trying to say here, is that like, I thought it was a mutual friendship. It wasn't just me always checking in on her. I mean, she did it from time to time, and I don't know what happened since then. I don't know what happened in between. So where she decided that she suddenly hated my guts again. Which is what I was trying to say with, is somebody in your ear? Because I started to notice these behavior changes, and I knew I hadn't done anything. So I was kind of like, what's up? And she had been there for me. Way back when, like, when we first started talking and stuff. And that, that's because people are like, well, that's what I'm trying to say. But then later on, it's like, when I was in Texas, she didn't check in on me or anything. The people who did check in on me are the people that she was asking me to kind of ditch, because apparently that's against her. And I mean, I will go through all of my texts if that's what people want. I mean, it's no secret who I like and who I don't. So yeah, there's one of Pesky's posts here. I will post all of my texts. I don't care. And then my response to that was, okay, good, because I really have no interest in getting involved, and I'm certainly not going to participate and have anything to do with hate towards you if I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Like I said, me supporting someone or just being friendly with them and considering you a friend are two different things and get two different levels of loyalty from me. Honest to God, that they haven't reached out to me that I know of. They have my number, so unless they emailed me, I haven't seen anything from them. I hope you're holding up okay. And that was about Cream and Craft in there. But like, yeah, I go hard for my friends. But if you have made it clear for weeks that you don't want to be my friend, why do I owe you that loyalty anymore? I go hard for my friends. And even then, I wasn't going to do anything. Just the reason that I'm doing this now is because of what just happened. I challenge you to find me doing anything else up and before that. It does suck to find out that your personal messages are being shared in a Discord with people. Pretty sure nobody would really like to find that out, especially when you had no idea that person had a problem with you. And then to get that kind of response to it, and then being gaslit by people saying that your messages weren't shared in a Discord when they absolutely were, because here they are on my phone. So clearly they just didn't just make them up. And she posted them. So yeah. So yeah, I was a little angry about that. But even then, I didn't go into all of these other chats and talk crap or whatever. And then there was that live, and some of the stuff I'm not. Nope. After that, all bets are off. And here I am, like, defending her again. So this was about that video that somebody put out about Dorothy that ended up being Jess K, I guess. And Pesky was saying something about that she was being blamed for it or something. I don't know. And then I was saying, I don't recall you at any point saying it was Pesky, My point being, like, these two are nuts, and that's about Lufa, and, you know, I still stand by that. And that's the other thing, though. It's like, you know, Lufa actually harassed you, Jess, for months, putting out disgusting videos, like slanderous videos about you. And it took weeks of that for you to put out your correspondences with her, yet you're putting out mine with over perceived jabs on you? Prove it. You can't, because it didn't happen. And that is what is so frustrating. Where did I throw shade at you? Where did I throw jabs at you? Where are the clips of that? Where are the screenshots? They don't exist. Okay? I have not said anything about her up until I found out about this Discord. And it makes sense now. It makes perfect sense as to why everything had been happening the way it had. And, you know, in the back of my head, I kind of, like, had known it, but I'm like, I can't prove it, so, like, I'm just going to do my own thing. And that's what I was doing. I wasn't gonna do this because I cared about Jess. Genuinely. Like, I went through, like, a mini grieving process for that friendship. You know, when it became abundantly clear that she didn't want to be friends with me. So I'm not understanding why people expect me to have this level of loyalty to somebody that doesn't even like me. That's like telling somebody to stay with someone and not get out of a relationship, you know, like to stay with the person that doesn't want them there. Like, she couldn't have made it clearer that she did not want me around. So I thought that me just doing my own thing and being quiet and talking about Natasha and the topics that, you know, do my walk and talks and stuff, I didn't realize that that was being interpreted as being against Jess. Because it wasn't, so that never crossed my mind. So I was a little irritated by that too, because I don't want to deal with that. Like, I wasn't talking about Jess. That wasn't about Jess. And then she said, the decency, are you kidding me? For what? Is this it? Yeah. So she said, what is it? So, yes, B, I never sent the bottom, because she never sent me that bottom message where she says that I was in people's chats and that's why she was, you know, mad at me or whatever. We can read that in a second, though. I never sent you the bottom message, hence why it is in my typing box to send, which, you know, makes sense now. I didn't think of that. And then I figured you weren't worth the decency of sending you anything since you couldn't be an adult and do the same. Excuse me? That bottom message had nothing to do with anything. None of your messages were altered. None. Well, I thought they might have been because you never sent that to me. I didn't think about it being in a typing box, but whatever. And while we're at it, it was one message shown to counteract your little jabs and passive BS you've been doing. Where, Jess? Where were those passive jabs and BS? Can you show me where those are? Please? Because I'm dying to see them. None of what I said was about you. Like, I don't even know how like, are you serious? I stood up for my mods. Yes, I did. I said I was disappointed in stuff going on in the community, but, like, there was a lot of stuff going on in the community. I don't think it was particular to you. And I did go to you privately. So I don't really know what the issue is. When did I not go to you privately? When did that happen? I didn't know it was an airport and that I was going to have to. You would have talked shit if I had gone to you and announced why I was leaving. I was like, I don't think it's a secret. I'm taking a step back. I don't want to be where Brittany is, but it doesn't mean I didn't support you. I didn't cancel my membership. I've had a membership to you since the day you started it because I support you. And I was even defending you in some videos since then. I've defended you in videos up until this point, but you don't watch my stuff, so you wouldn't know that, would you? And I know you're not lying when you say you don't watch stuff. So who's ever sending you clips and things, you might want to take a look at their motives. Because you're not seeing the big picture, and you're certainly not being told the correct information. Seriously? Why is it listening to me? What the hell? Oh my god, my watch has been dictating everything that I've been saying. Leave me alone, Siri. No, go away. I'm gonna throw this watch across the room. It's been dictating every word that's come out of my mouth so far. Well, in the past little bit. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. What were you counteracting by showing that? What was that counteracting, Jess? Because what those texts made it look like is that you had responded to me and told me that there was an issue and that I had continued to make these non-existent passive where is the where? I don't understand. And what does it say if you're interpreting it that way and other people are too? I don't know, but you clearly don't watch my stuff, or else you would know that I have defended you up until this point on points. I have not spoken about you. I have not been making passive aggressive jabs at you. But you have on me? Well, we're on that topic. You certainly were me. And, the more I was getting the point, the more I was like, wow, I'm just going to do my thing and stay in my lane. That's literally what I meant, because it is an emotional roller coaster to feel like you have a connection with somebody, to feel like, you're close with someone and that you are friends, and then to have them put you, like, go through all of these things and get these subtle, you know what I mean? So I needed to take a step back from YouTube in general, and I did. I wasn't in chats. I wasn't in your chat, but like, where was I in anybody else's either? Why is that being translated into against you? That must be a really miserable way to feel all the time, that everything is about you and against you, when it is not. And you never came to me either, right? So I did say to you way that when I first started getting those vibes that like something was not right, I did ask you if we were cool, and you didn't respond. You didn't respond to my text for weeks. Like, you didn't acknowledge me in chats. Like, there were I don't understand how I was supposed to interpret that, as any other way of please don't contact me. So I didn't. But I didn't have an issue. You're my friend. I wasn't going to drag you. I wasn't going to join the haters. I was just going to do my own thing. But after being told that my stuff is being shown to counteract stuff that didn't happen, and that, because, and of course I had something to say about that. Yeah, sure did. Sure did have something to say about that. And it made me question what was true and what wasn't. And the more I've looked into that, the more I've realized that I've been blinded for a while, and that things aren't always as they seem. And I'm going to give people a chance, because I have every right to be in this community. I come on YouTube for my support system. It helps me distract myself from the things that go on in my life that are difficult. And if I'm not welcome in your community, which you made it very clear, like, I will go into that in great detail if like that's something that, I need to, but and I know, Jessica, and I know what I'm talking about. I want to be able to talk somewhere. So I just left YouTube and whatever. And then when I found this out, I'm like, okay, well, why shouldn't I go into chats? And then when you spent that live dragging me and said some of the most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard in my life, then I'm going to go into other people's chats and support them and whatever, because who cares at that point? Who cares? Clearly you don't like me. You haven't liked me. You never liked me. You liked that I defended you, though. You did like that. I mean, I call it petty or whatever, and that's fine if this sounds petty. But like, when I did my fundraiser, I not only did you not donate to my fundraiser when I've donated to yours and countless other times given you money or gifts or whatever, but on top of that, you wouldn't even share it or mention it, and you've done that for other people. So I don't know like why you thought that it was sus, but now I found out that because my parents have money and I have a credit card, that means that I don't deserve donations for things. Well, if you make as much money as I'm getting some evidence that you do on here, why do you need people to donate to you? Like, that doesn't make sense. Oh my God. Like, why do you need people to pay your parking tickets? Why do you need people to pay for your vacations if you make that much money that I'm getting, that I've had people have said? I mean, who knows if that's true? I don't know. But it adds up. And then I was kind of hurt by that too, but I was like, okay, well, I can't expect everybody, whatever, it's fine. And I didn't, I had texted you throughout that whole thing. Like, you stopped talking to me. This is what happened last time too, Jess. You stopped talking to me. Like, this is not my fault here. I didn't start this. I had no desire to come on and do this. None. And I would have never gone into anybody else's chats otherwise. And and you can try and say that I'm fake all you want. You can do that all you want, but I've never denied any of my behavior. Never. I'm not perfect. I talk shit with the best of them. That's not a secret. And I mean, I didn't know it was a secret that like I had a problem with Brittany J. I thought that was pretty clear. And we can go into that too if she wants to go there. But if she doesn't, I have no desire to go at her about that. Like she's doing her thing. Good. Like she can do her true crime. I'm not bothering her. But like that had nothing to do with why I didn't like what was going on with the Kylie Rodney thing. That wasn't a passive aggressive jab at you, Jess, at all. I don't agree with how that was handled. Like, I don't know how that's an attack on you personally either. So I'm just trying to, I'm racking my brain for anything I possibly could have said that would have been directed at you, that you could have perceived as directed at you, and I can't think of anything. And what my mods do is on them. If they said something to you, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. These are people that I've been friends with for longer than as long as I've been on YouTube. I've talked to Rody Gal since last, I believe, November, and I've talked to Michelle K since January. So, I don't know why I should just give those people up, because they have a differing opinion than me. We never talk shit about you. I'm telling you, you will not find anything, public or private. It won't happen. Just like with Dorothy. Sounding an awful lot like Dorothy. And I'm still waiting to see it. I really am, Please show me where I did that. So people can see what a terrible person I am. What a terrible, horrible person I am to not deserve the decency to become too privately. Because clearly you had a problem first. Couldn't be more clear. And I will do a dramatic reading of all of my texts with her. Not her parts, because as you can see, I'm not comfortable sharing that. That's not YouTube's business, what she said to me. I'm just not comfortable doing that. But I will share my own. I have no problem doing that. And if anything within it is a surprise to anybody, then, we can talk about it. I know I talk about Lufa in there, but because Lufa started coming at me afterwards, later on. So then I brought it up because I'm like, hey, Lufa's coming at me simply because I support you, because there's no other possible reason. I've never spoken about Lufa. So from that point on, the videos where Lufa was calling me her ABUSER and a terrorist. Yeah. So after that point, because prior to that point, I'd never mentioned Lufa. So after she started with those videos is when I started. You'll see her name pop up. Pesky was in there, and because Pesky used to go hard at me for Granny's watching, for the same nonsense, because Jess was perceiving stuff as being against her and apparently communicating that to people, and then Pesky came after me. I found out a lot of stuff later on. I found out that, at one point Jess blamed me for giving apparently I gave Dorothy her address. That never happened. I was blamed that I was in cahoots with Real True Scripture or whoever that was because he had a bee in a video. I'm telling you guys, I've seen receipts for this. But I didn't want to say, and I'm not going to lie to you. I knew this going into having a friendship with her afterwards because I've always liked Jess and I've always felt a connection to her. And I was willing to look not to put that information aside, because I could tell she was hurting and people were coming after her in a way that I thought was unfair. And I didn't like that. So regardless of what had happened in the past or whatever miscommunications had happened, I was willing to put that aside because what was happening to her wasn't right. And it still wasn't. I'm not going to change my mind about how I felt about what was happening to her. I don't agree with a lot of stuff that's happened to her. I think it's messed up and it shouldn't have happened. And yeah, so, I don't know why this is what it blows my mind. I don't understand. Everybody can go watch my videos for themselves. I always said good things about Granny. I never said anything bad about Granny. In my public lives and stuff. The only reason I was angry at Granny was because Brittany J was sending me messages saying that Granny was doing things that, conveniently her phone would stop working when I would ask for receipts for it, and couldn't provide proof, but it would get me angry because I'm like, why is she doing this to me? I don't talk about her. And then I got angry, and when I get angry, I have a temper, and I say some nasty shit. Yes, I do. But Granny knows that. I told Granny that. I've admitted that. That's not a secret that I said some nasty shit about Granny's watching privately between people I thought were friends, way back when. That absolutely happened, and I own that. Just like everybody else does. So, yeah. And then I found out I was being lied to, and then I was like, hey, am I really angry at Jess because of something that happened or because I was being lied to? Which one was it? And that's when I was like, maybe I should give her a chance here. Maybe I should put that aside, and maybe people weren't being honest with me. And I reacted, and I looked like a dumbass. But like now I'm like questioning everything. Now I'm questioning if, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. I have issues with Brittany J for other reasons besides that too. But I never said I never like talked crap, but I never talked about her in lives or anything like that. It was just between because I felt hurt. I felt like, why is this woman targeting me? Why is she dragging me? Like, I never said anything about her. So I got angry about it, and I talked to people privately. Sue me, right? I know. So horrible. I'm such a terrible person. And then I apologized for those things publicly and privately. And I thought we had moved on from that. And since that point, you won't find anything about me talking about Granny's watching in any sense that is bad. In fact, you'll see quite the opposite up until very, 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 very recently. And I'm talking about like the past week, when this Discord crap started coming out, because somebody gave me a heads up that it was coming out. I don't know where it came from, so don't ask. I don't know who sent that out. I have no idea. I don't do Discord, so I don't even know who was in there, so I have no clue. And I really don't speak to as many people as people think I do privately. So I have no idea, so please don't ask. But I'm kind of glad that it did come out, because I had known in my heart that there was something really strange going on and that something was happening. And this just proves it. And now I'm glad I'm glad I know this, honestly. Because why should I? No, that's not right. If somebody's your friend, you don't just share their texts privately where you know that they're not going to see them, because she knows I'm not going to see those because I don't do Discord, and I've said it 1,000 times. And I don't know why she was mocking my post about that either, with the, imagine thinking that Discord is some secret group. I literally was making a play on the phrase, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I wasn't insinuating that it was an exclusive group. I'm aware of how Discord is. I know. Thank you. Like, it was sarcasm. But okay. It's just I'm starting to see more and more, and it's like a lot of people have very similar stories to me, and I don't think that's a coincidence. But even after, and as you guys could see, even after I started getting attacked by people that are very supportive of Granny's watching, before I everybody pulled their memberships, and she completely destroyed my ability to make money here on YouTube. And for what, I don't know. Secretly behind my back. I didn't even say anything then. I have not said anything until I found that out about the Discord. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And that's what's been shown so far isn't even all of it, because I have been sent more. There's much more, but I'm not a vindictive person like that, really. I can talk a mean game. Like, I get very angry, and I oftentimes say things I don't mean when I'm angry, but I really just need to get it out of my system that way. But I'm not gonna put it out. It's more for me to know. But I'm sure if I've been sent it, then other people have it too. So I'm sure it'll come out eventually. I'm sure somebody will put it out. But just know that this isn't all of it pertaining to me. And people have been sending me stuff privately as well now. And a lot of it is putting like these puzzle pieces together, and it all makes sense. It all makes sense. And now I'm just like, wow, like I should have just gone with my gut. Like something in the back of my head told me that there was something wrong, which is when I came to you and said, "Hey, are we cool?" And you didn't respond. So, part of me, but even so, I'm like, no, Jess is my friend. She wouldn't do that to me. We're friends. Nothing's happened. And I've thought I was being paranoid, but I guess I wasn't. And it was really hurtful. The only thing that you're going to find that I have said otherwise is I have said to some people that I felt hurt, because I did feel hurt. But if that's a jab at you, Jess, if me saying I felt hurt is a jab at you, if that's such a terrible thing to say when somebody you perceived as a friend does something hurtful, to say I feel hurt, again, sue me, throw me in prison, lock away, no possibility of parole, throw away the key, right? I don't deserve any decency, right? For what? For what? I was nothing but a good friend to you, Jess, and you know it. You know it. And at first, you were a good friend to me as well. You're very good at that. And that's what scares me the most, is that you're that good at making people feel like you care about them and then pull this shit for no reason. No reason. That scares me. I made it very clear I genuinely cared about her. It broke my heart. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. And yeah, I'm incredibly hurt. Incredibly hurt. Because I didn't do that to her. Nope. So I'm not really sure where I said I was going to expose her. And I'm not going to do that. I have no intention to do that. Don't want to, never have. I didn't have some video ready to go either. I'm not really sure what that was. I said I was going to put out the corrected texts, which she actually explained afterwards. I didn't think of it as being in a typing box. I just found it weird that there's a text that I never received up on a screen on the wrong side of the screen. I didn't think of it being in I don't know why. I don't ever leave texts in a texting box. I send everything that I feel I need to. So that I can't relate to that. So I thought it was weird. I was like, why is this? Why does it look like that? But yeah, I mean, and I did, and this is what I'm saying. Like, you guys don't know. You guys don't know. Like, it's like the rules of the weird, like the real world, and like what people feel in the standards they have in the real world, like don't apply to YouTube. And I've noticed that if I was to apply my morals 100% to YouTube, I would be a very lonely person. And I know everybody said, Granny's watching, she wants to change, she's bettering herself, and like, we accept that. And, we accept but so why shouldn't I let other people try to better themselves? Some people that I don't know, or people that have done stuff in their past that aren't great. Like, why can't I give them a chance? And I'm going to. I don't care. You guys already think I'm a terrible person. You guys already are talking shit about me in chats and comment sections and pulling your support from me. So what incentive do I have to not do those things? Please tell me. Because I'm looking for community too, So if you want to take mine away, I'll find it elsewhere. Sorry. But that didn't happen before that live. Did not happen. And I was never going to do that. Because I mean it when I say I'm a good friend. Everyone knows that. I am close with several people on here that will tell you the same thing. The only person saying otherwise is you. And that's just a fact. So, whatever. Say whatever you want. Talk about my family. Talk about me. Talk about my living situation, which I don't understand why that's at all weird. I live on my own. I don't live with my parents. I don't I live on my own. You know, I do freelance marketing work. That's no secret. I'm a grad student. Um, I'm not sure why the fact, like, what my parents' income is at all relevant to me receiving money on YouTube. My parents and I don't have, like, not that we don't have a great relationship, but I wasn't raised like that. Like, I've been very open about that in past videos. I've always had to work for everything that I have. Like, my parents never raised me. I didn't know my parents had money until I was an adult because I was never given, like, the nicest stuff. Like, I had to work for what I had. I wasn't spoiled. And that's not how they raised me. They don't just hand me money. Doesn't work like that. If I absolutely need help, which lately I have, because $200 after the mortgage is not enough to pay my bills and for food for two people. It's just not. So yeah, sometimes I do have to ask for help. And then, if you guys want to discuss my trust fund, like those of you who know how trust funds work, having a trust fund does not mean that you have a ton of money. It means that there's money that your parents had put there. I can't touch it. I don't have like a card or a checkbook. My dad does, but I don't. I have to go through my dad to use that money. And even so, there's a lot of rules. I can only use it on certain things and certain circumstances. And I only get $5K a year from that available to me. So I'm not really sure how that makes it so I shouldn't have financial support from YouTube either. Because it sounds like you make more than that in a month. So still not adding up. And maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you don't. I have no idea. And it's, I found that to be just ridiculous. Why does my parents' financial circumstance have anything to do with me? Like, and have you ever thought to think to yourself that maybe there's like reasons that like my parents wouldn't pay for something like that? Like, oh, I don't know, like maybe they have their own issues. Like why should it fall on my parents to pay for me and things? That doesn't make sense. I mean maybe that's your experience with your parents, but my experience with my own parents is that that's not how that goes. You if you don't have the money for it, you don't buy it. Is basically how I was raised and how my mother is very, very adamant about. And because I have a credit card, I should have to go into debt. Like that, you know how how credit cards work, right? Like you don't just get free money, like you have to pay it back. So, me being able to raise $350 really was helpful at me paying something up front, so I didn't have to get interest charges. Like that's how that works. So, and I appreciated every dime of it. And it was used for exactly what I said it was going to be used for. And we're going to go into a different circumstance later on. I mean, I'm not bringing that up in this one. We're not going to go there, but we can go into, there's something else I want to talk about. That's the thing, it's just hurtful that like, why are you so concerned about me having support on here? I don't know why that bothers her. Like, I don't get it. I don't think that's fair. I'm on here. I put a lot of effort into my content. I'm not on here as often, like, because I have a life outside of here, and it's a very busy one. So I'm not always available to come onto YouTube all the time, and I'd like to do it more. But to tell people to unsubscribe, to tell people to pull their memberships, to tell people not to donate to things, I don't know. On what grounds? It sucks to find out that somebody's been doing that behind your back. Somebody you thought was a friend. It sucks to find that out. I'm not really sure if anybody would really like to find that out. So, I mean, we are going to do a dramatic reading of like my texts. I mean, if it's a surprise to anybody, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and it's also not going to change how I feel about other people. I like CJ. I will always like CJ. I don't care who she supports. Whatever she chooses to do is not going to change the fact that I support CJ and I like her. So there's that, and I like Barb. I don't like the fact that all of that was allowed in chat today. when I've said nothing about Barb. I said that I understand that I think I said that I like Barb several times, and then I said, but I understand why she's going along with believing something's a lie. I did that too with Lycan's texts. I did that too. I told myself that I will take that as a lie. I will believe that Lycan photoshopped those texts. When, I'm not so sure. Not so sure. But that's a whole other topic that yeah. 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 So that's really all I said. And in my text, I was thinking to myself, what is she going to pull up on this? And then I was like, okay, here's the award ceremony thing. Yes, the award ceremony thing. I did have something to say about the award ceremony thing. And it wasn't anything bad. I just told Granny. I had told Granny that I felt hurt. Because I was on whatever. Because sometimes I don't feel like I get the appreciation that I feel that I deserve, and that's human. I am open and honest, and then I was like, I'm being lumped in with, clip channels, and I'm not a clip channel, and I have more subs than Barb at the time. It wasn't anything negative against her. I've always liked her. I have no issue with her. Like I said, I've always adored CJ. Even when CJ went over to Natasha's, I never unsubscribed or pulled my membership. Like, I like her. Genuinely. I think she's creative. I think she's funny. So I don't really know. What the heck? I don't really know, like, what the issue is. And I'm trying to think of anybody else I could have possibly mentioned in those texts that would have been a surprise to her. I mean, Lycan knows. My last message, my last message to Granny was calling Lycan a tool. Sure was. Yeah, so I said quite a bit about Lycan, but, he knows that. And he said quite a bit about me, so whatever. We can agree to disagree and, move on. I don't want to, I have to think to myself, like, why do I hate him? Like, why am I so angry at him? And is it really because he did something, or is it because, is there more to it? And, it's so interesting how, like, when you look at the big picture and you actually go to somebody else to hear their side of the story, how much that picture starts to make more sense. And I'm glad I did. Y'all are already holding that against me. You all are already acting as if I just did the worst possible thing. Like, you guys are acting like I just, like, betrayed Jess in, like, the worst way possible. When none of this has happened until after this information had come out and I had live for like 2 or 3 hours dragging me. So yes, not sure, if you guys are going to treat me like I just did that anyways, then why shouldn't I do it? I don't even care at this point, because you guys clearly, if people are so quick to just turn against me, then they never liked me to begin with. I like to think that people know me better than that. And I am not guilty of these things the reasoning that's being given as to why all of this happened is not accurate. I did not speak about Granny's watching. I was not in other chats talking about Granny's watching. I wasn't in anybody's chat at all. So it's very, interesting. I would like to see where I did these things, where I did something so terrible that I don't deserve the decency to come to. And why am I supposed to come to you privately when I didn't have a problem? I did come to you privately about anything I had on my mind. You didn't respond. But I would have come to you privately about it. I didn't think I needed to come to you privately and say, hey, it's not my it's not my business if you're going to make up with Brittany. That's your right to do. I'm not going to come to you privately and say something to you about it. That's dumb. A friend wouldn't do that. A friend should be happy for the other person. Good for you. All that means is that I'm not going to be around, but I'm still going to support you. Like, I don't understand why I'm because I don't even know what she's talking about. So I'm just throwing something and seeing if one of them sticks. I mean, I've been racking my brain for a while now trying to figure out where any of that came from, because it was news to me and it was quite shocking to be attacked in that community post. That was I did not see that coming. Because I wasn't talking about Jess. Like, I literally was not talking about Jess. So I had no idea that she had even gone live. You know, so I'm not really sure what I did to deserve this. I don't know what a lot of these people did to deserve it, because it sounds like a lot of people have had a similar experience, you know. But I'm a creator, so, like, you know, to make it so somebody is unsuccessful on YouTube for something that never happened, it just, I don't know. I don't know what kind of person does that. I really don't. And even at this point, I'm not gonna ask anybody if your experience with Granny has been good. Great, great. Then you don't have a reason to not support her. Great, support her. I'm not asking people to stop that. Like that, I don't know what kind of person does. I don't know what kind of person asks their subscribers to drop their support from one person because they have a problem. No. If you support Granny, you're still welcome over here. I'm not going to give you a hard time if I see you over there. I mean, I know the same can't be said about the other way around, so I understand why I won't see you guys again. You know, and you guys are people, it breaks my heart. It fucking sucks. It sucks. It really does. And I like fluctuate between being angry and just sad and hurt. And just disappointed. For what? What did I do? What did I do? I don't understand it. I just don't. I just don't. And I don't know how that proves anything. Like, you're posting that text, but, like, as a response to what? What did I do? Like, besides something you assumed was about you or that somebody told you was about you, but, like, I'm challenging you right now. Listen for yourself. Okay? Don't take people's word for it, because they're lying. They're not being honest with you. They're twisting things. Nothing was said about you. I have not said anything about you. And if somebody else took it that way, that's their problem. I've literally been talking about Natasha and some of the true crime stuff. And I mean, or else she identifies as being one of those true crime channels that was exploiting and harassing, which she was not one of, or else she identifies as one, then I don't know where this is. I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking clue. I have no clue. And, like, it just sucks, you know, because I feel like I have every right to be on YouTube as much as anybody else. You know, it was really great, like, over the summer where, you know, I did get a couple extra $100 so I could, you know, pay bills and have food on the table, and do, like, it helps tremendously because my income isn't always steady. And I'd be embarrassed to tell you how much I bring in a month. I'd be embarrassed. Because it's not as much as I should. You know, but I'm a grad student, so I had to cut back on stuff. It was like, it's a whole mess. So I came on YouTube, and it was great to have that extra support. And I did my fundraiser because I needed help. I couldn't make it happen otherwise. I didn't want to put it all on a credit card because you have to pay that back, or it increases because there's an interest rate. You know, you shouldn't just put a whole vacation on a credit card if you can avoid doing so. You know, and, like, not really sure why that was being judged either. And I told her I was having a hard time after that. I wasn't on YouTube. I wanted no part of any sort of drama. So why would I go after her? What reason did I have? I mean, it just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, if she had a problem, that was news to me. But clearly she did, and clearly she has for quite some time. And clearly I should listen to my gut because I'm usually right about a lot of things. And like I said, I had people telling me this. I had those troll comments back over the summer. And they were absolutely right, weren't they? In fact, whoever that was, it Losers of Loserville, whoever that is like a psychic. Or they know something I don't. And then I was getting those emails that Granny hates Emma, so there was that. And then when I told you, because I texted you this and I said, I don't know because I wanted your advice on it. My family had been contacted and my dad was pissed at me. And I was kind of grappling with that because I'm like, where do I proceed from here? Because I don't want him to be disappointed in what I'm doing on here. And I don't, that's not what I want. I don't want to push anybody to do that again because that really bothered me and them. And I kind of went into detail about it before. And I said, how did you handle it? Because somebody did call her family. That happened. And I asked her, I'm like, so how did you handle that? Because I don't know what to do. She didn't even acknowledge that, but I mean, I'm expected to be all outraged, and I was outraged when stuff like that would happen to her, and I'd say something about it. It's like little things like that. If you don't care about those things, you don't even acknowledge it. And I'll still stand by a lot of things. I do have a clip somewhere of Natasha describing her home. As you can see from the text messages, I mean, I have so much on my phone, and I just, at that point, I don't know where the clip is. I do have it though. I just don't know where it is. It's somewhere, and it's probably part of a bigger thing. So I'll click on it to listen to it, and then I'm like, this isn't it, but it might be in the end. I don't know, but I do have it. And if I find it, I'll still put it out. Because that wasn't right. I'm never going to stand for things going in real life and stuff like that happening to anybody. But it happens to other people too. And there's a lot more that's been going on that people just don't know about. And just because you haven't gotten caught yet doesn't mean you're holier than thou. Just means you haven't been caught yet. I love it when people pretend that they're not guilty of things that they do. I'll own anything that I have said or done. And I won't deny it. Never have. Never have. I'm trying to think of anybody else that because I'm sure people would like to hear it from me rather than, from somebody sharing my text messages, which, if that's what you'd like to do, fine. I'm still not going to put hers out. Or else like I said, I shared somebody's texts privately behind the scenes once. That person chose to bring them public, this person being Jessica. I didn't know she was going to bring them up on a live. I didn't know that. And I felt bad. Even though I didn't like the other person, I felt bad. And I told myself I'm not going to do that again. And I'm standing by that. I'm not going to do it again. But I had no idea she was going to put that on a live. I had no idea. None of that was communicated to me. I thought I was just helping. But whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, I was just trying to show why I had been so angry because I was being told these things. It sucks to find out that somebody you think is your friend has hated you for a long time. Even Lycan said that she hated me. And then at first I was thinking, oh, he's just trying to hurt me, but I'm not so sure now. So why did you want me to feel why did you want me to think that you were my friend? Why put that effort into it if you didn't like me? I've told you some pretty personal things. And and I'm still, there's some things that I will never repeat ever because they don't need to be on YouTube because they don't apply here. I will never say those things. Bet. It's not going to happen. Because there's no circumstance where that would need to be shared. It's not anybody's business. I don't care if I hate the person. It's not their fucking business. You know, and you can only hope that the same decency gets shown back to you, but, like, I guess I don't deserve decency, right? For what? For what? What did I do? Can you show me what I did? You know, there's so many clip channels out there and stuff. I mean, I would think that there would be, you know, evidence of this. And going in and waving in a chat, I mean, I'm just trying to think of what I possibly could have done. Because I do take meds to fall asleep, and sometimes I, like, you know, I'm so groggy I don't remember what I'm doing, but, like, I mean, if I did it, I'll own it, but, I mean, I can't think of anything that I know for a fact I didn't go in anywhere and bash Jess. I know that. I know that I wasn't in some chat when, like, you know, somebody was blatantly dragging her. I know that, because I wouldn't have done that. Like, or else you can show me where I did, and you can show me that that's exactly what was being said on the live, and that, you know, not like that was what was being said at some point in that live, but that was being said when my comment shows up. There's a difference. Because sometimes I'll go hop. I don't think I did that. I certainly didn't say anything to anybody behind the scenes about her. Except that, you know, at one point later, much later on, after all this started, it started to become clear that there was something going on, that I was hurt. But that's a valid way to feel. Something wrong with telling somebody you feel hurt. You know? It's really not. And like I said, I didn't think it was appropriate for me to go and say I was upset about her making up with Brittany. Like, that's not really an adult thing to do, so I didn't. I was just like, okay, cool. I just won't be in chat. If that's, you know, if she's there up on panel, because I don't want to listen to her. I think that's fair. Doesn't mean I don't support Jazz. I'd still come in and say hello. I always tried to, you know, show some support. I never pulled my membership. I always went in to say hello. You know, I still defended her on my videos that I've done. I didn't realize. I thought that would be incredibly petty for me to go to her privately and say that, because first of all, she already knew that. That wouldn't have been news to her. She knew how I felt about Brittany, so that, no, I'm not going to do that. She should be able to. If that's what she wants to do, great. Great. But then you know, under that same vein, I don't know how I'm, you know, expected to get rid of my mods who I've been friends with forever because they've said something about you. You know? If somebody that said things about me is allowed to, you know, that doesn't make sense. And I would never ask that of you. Because that's not fair. That's not right. And I just, you know, I still am hurt. Like, I don't even know how to process some of the stuff that was said in that live. And, you know, I think what hurts more than, because I know she doesn't like me. She's made that very clear. But, like, you know, to see the people in chat, it's just like, really? What did I do? What did I do? It's not my fault she was talking about me behind my back. I didn't ask her to talk about me behind my back. All I said was that I was going to put out the correct texts. Like, the screenshot of that. Like, not her entire conversations. I'm not going to do that. And then she explained it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it is in the type box. Because it didn't make sense to me at first. It didn't make sense to a couple people that have told me. They're like, that's weird. And I'm like, yeah, it's weird, because she never sent that to me. But now you're going to say that I had the problem and that I didn't come to you private? Excuse me? No. Nope. 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 And it sounds like a lot of other people had a really similar experience. And, like, I don't think that's a coincidence. I'm sorry that, like, I hate seeing people hurt like that. And like I said, there's more to the Discord stuff. But I'm not going to put it out. Because like I said, after this little series of videos I'm doing, so this is part 1. I'm guessing it's going to be a 2 or 3 part series. I have to do it in like small ones because if I go over a certain amount of time, it won't upload because I had to downgrade my internet. And that's what like I don't get. Like you're gonna say that because my parents have money? No, I support myself. You know, I've recently had to like, cancel all of the subscriptions that I have with the exception of like, one or two that I get like huge discount. Well, one that I get a huge discount on. I've had to downgrade my internet service. I've had to everything that I don't need, I've gotten rid of because I can't afford it. I just can't, Let me tell you, being left with $200 for the month to pay bills and get food on the table is a scary thing. And I don't want to go into that, but I'd be embarrassed if people knew how much I bring in a month. It's embarrassing. And it's not my parents' job to give me money. I'm 30. I'll be 34 this month. So maybe we should have a birthday fund for me. How about that? Maybe we should have a month-long birthday fund for me. Maybe we should do that. I don't know. But I turned 34 at the end of the month, and it's not my parents' responsibility anymore to take care of me. So I'm not really sure what their circumstances has to do with anything at all. Their money is not my money. I'm not entitled to their money. It's a weird way to look at things. Eye-opening, but weird way to look at things. Will they help me if I need it? Yeah. But don't think there aren't strings attached, and don't think that I enjoy having to go to that, because I don't. It is a last resort for me to do, because it is not a pleasant experience to have to do. I hate it with every fiber of my being. But lately, with prices being the way it is and, inflation, I haven't had a choice. And then, the YouTube money was taken away too, so wasn't getting any money from that either because everybody canceled their memberships. I wonder why. Like, why do you care? Like, it makes no sense. Why do you care if people support me and help me? That's always what it is. But whatever. Can't force people to like you, and that's what I'm saying, though. Like, no matter what happens, no matter what is said, no matter what people choose to believe, it doesn't change the truth. And, if I'm missing anything from here, I mean, I will, I'm sure I'm skipping over some things and I'll need to address later. But this is like from the best of my memory right now. And, all I can say is I'm just incredibly hurt. I thought she was better than that. I thought she was genuinely I thought that, she wasn't who everybody said she was. I thought that was just this thing that people made her out to be because they didn't like her. I thought that, because when I spoke to her, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, like, there are parts of Jess that, like, I'll miss. She's not a bad person. I just don't understand why these sort of things are happening. Like, I just don't get it. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, so that's why I'm going to say, like, I'm not on here to get people to, like, mob on her and go at her. No, I'm not here to lead a hate brigade. But, am I going to support people that I wasn't, supporting prior and give them a chance? Yeah, I might. I'm probably going to do that. Sure. Because, I feel like, there's a lot of people on here that I didn't give a chance because I had heard something about them. But, like, if I can't continue on doing that, I'm going to give people a shot. If they do something to me, fine. But I don't want to base my feelings on people based on what they've done to somebody else. Because a lot of the time there's more to the story. And I'm looking for, there's no reason that I should have to leave the community. Like, for somebody to say, firstly, that I should just be quiet and, tiptoe around the fact that Jess takes everything to be about her that isn't. So I should just be quiet because I don't even know why. I mean, that made no sense. That made my blood boil, honestly. I saw red and I'm like, I can't even look at these comments. I need to put my phone away. Like, I can't because I'm going to lose it and say something I don't want to. And then to be told that I should have just left the community because I started to see things weren't right. That's not fair. Why? She came for me. I didn't start this. And if they want to continue to drag me and go for, I don't even know how, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know half the stuff that was discussed. I mean, I think what I've gotten clips of is quite enough, thank you. But I'm sure there's more. And I know there's more to the Discord. Like I said, I will not be putting it out. And I only have what pertains to me. I don't really have, I'm sure there's more in general because, like, it seems like a lot of it wasn't just about me. So clearly, because I saw the other stuff in there, I think I might have been sent a couple of the other things in there, but like, there's definitely way more than what's been put out public. And I don't know who they're from. So again, don't ask me. I don't know who emailed it to me. It's under a anonymous email. Don't know who it is. But I did receive it a little bit before it got put on there. So then, yes, I know it was Lindsay who posted it, but somebody sent it to her. So, I mean, I know, I don't think this email, I mean, maybe it was Lindsay. I don't know. But, honestly, I am all here for her putting that out, to be honest with you, because I feel like people should know. If you want to go up there and talk about how you're like a better person than everybody, if you want to talk about how you're upfront and nothing's a secret and like whatever, and say all that stuff, then don't do the opposite behind the scenes. I'm glad I know. It hurts, but I'll get over it. And I won't make that mistake again. And I'm still, if you can show me what I did to deserve it, then fine, show me. It doesn't exist, but you can show me. I mean, whatever. Besides something that somebody told you was about you that wasn't about you. Like, I don't get it. And my only words of advice to anybody is that, don't think that she won't do it to you. So be careful. And I hate saying that. I wish I didn't have to say that. Because Jess was a good friend to me up until things started getting weird. And I could tell that there was something not right. But like, if you, decided that you didn't like me, or I was annoying, or I texted you too much, or whatever, why keep me hanging on and fighting for you? I don't get it. That's like what you said about CJ. What was it that you said? I have the clip somewhere. Okay. Let me see if I don't get the quote exactly correct. Forgive me, but it was something along the lines of, this is after CJ went up on was it Gold Star Mom's panel to talk to Robbie and Lycan, and because CJ had been on the receiving end of a lot of stuff coming her way, and a lot of it was because she had defended Jess, like me. And that was the reason that they were getting. So she was tired of it. She didn't want to deal with that anymore. So she went up and was making peace. And Jess literally said, if CJ makes peace, then that's not fair because then I have all of it coming at me. Well, excuse me. It's not other people's jobs to like defend you. If they choose to defend you, great. But you have to understand that like sometimes enough is enough. I don't appreciate. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. And I get it. It sucks to have a whole lot of hate directed at you. But like, if CJ wants out, CJ just want. It was stuff like that I'm like, that's not. I don't know. That didn't sit well with me. You know, because you know, if CJ stops, if CJ makes peace, then you're left on your own to defend yourself, basically. And that everything will be directed at you. Uh-huh. Like, come on. Come on. And I've always said I like CJ. I really don't care what anybody says. There will be no talking badly of CJ on my channel. Not going to happen. I really like CJ. And you know, that goes for anybody else either, or else you're like, you know, participating in it or allowing it. I mean, you know, but even so, this is not going to be, I don't want that here either. Like, if you haven't done anything to me, why would I have a problem with you? I don't have a problem if you didn't do anything to me. Just because you support Granny. That's not how it works. And I'm not even, honestly, because I know how all of this goes, and if you're a creator especially, I'm not going to fault you for it either. You know? But, you know, if you haven't had a bad experience, then you haven't had a bad experience. But I do say to the people that, you know, have seen stuff and they're still sticking around, I mean, you know, I think they know what I'd say. I think they know. And I mean, I don't know. I just hate that any of this is happening. I really just wanted to do my Natasha content because I had a lot of stuff like in the works and ready to go, and that's really what I was doing. And I was considering doing some work, some videos and stuff on another community, not one that you guys have even heard of either, but one that's trying to come into this community that I would rather die than have happen, because I know what they're about, and I do not want that here. And, you know, if that becomes more obvious, I'm still going to talk about it. Like, that nothing's changed. I mean, I kind of haven't been going live because I've been trying to process what's been going on. You know, it sucks to find out that everybody that, you know, you thought supported you doesn't. It sucks to see that, you know, nobody even, like, questions anything. They just automatically believe that it happened. And, like, there's no proof or evidence. And, like, I thought I had made it very clear that I really liked Granny and supported her. I don't know when I communicated anything other than that. Aside from not ditching my mods. Which, why should I do that? There are people I speak to every single day. And like I said in that video, we just didn't talk about Granny. Because I knew how they felt, and they had told me, they're like, you know, you're just not seeing this, Emma. And I said, no, you don't, you know, no, you're not seeing it correctly. No, that's not true. No, you don't know her like I do. No, she didn't mean it like that, you know, all of that. And it just became like a moot point because I wasn't going to budge. So we just didn't discuss her. Like, you know, imagine it's possible to have relationships with people without discussing somebody else. And I wasn't, you know, these are people that talk to me every single day. And who actually want to be my friend. And who don't think I'm annoying or weird or creepy or whatever other words that I saw being thrown around in the various chats that I've seen screenshots from and all of that. Like, they actually want to talk to me. And I value those people. Because I'm dealing with my own stuff, guys. Like, I didn't want this. I didn't want this, but here we are. And, you know, I have more details to go into tomorrow, and I have some stuff that I want to show you. Because I feel like, you know, even this doesn't do my entire experience justice here. But I do have to end this one because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to upload it. So, yeah. So if I ask anything of anybody, it's just like, you know, if you have nothing nice to say, then just don't, okay? Like, I know that people don't like me. You don't need to write that nobody cares. And no, maybe you don't care, and maybe the people you surround yourself don't care, but there are plenty of people who care and who want to hear my story. And if you don't, then don't listen. But before you like leap to some judgment and, you know, think that I'm guilty of these crimes, well, at least hear my side of the story and then make your verdict. Watch this video, watch the one I'm going to put out tomorrow, and then make your decision. And you tell me. And even then, you know, if you're like, okay, well, you know, I guess it's so tough to see people that you really like saying some of the stuff that I saw yesterday and today. It's hard. You know, it is. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It just is. And when I didn't do anything to those people. In fact, I didn't even do anything to the person that they think they're defending. So I just think it's so strange that people who actually did terrible things to her don't get what I'm getting right now. That's really strange to me. I just got a text. Well, yeah. I don't know, guys. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna venture out, and I'm willing. You know, anybody. If you and I have had any differences in the past, like, I'm willing to talk it out. I don't want to be on here and have like everything be hateful and like negative and whatever. Like, I don't care where you're from. I don't care like what you support. I really don't care at this point. You know, if you like my content and you like me, you're welcome here. You're welcome here. I don't care if like you're a huge Dorothy fan, like or if you like Granny's Watching, or if you like Natasha even. I don't care. You know, if you like me, you like me, and that's great. And I don't really want to have this whole feeling of like sides and stuff. I just don't want that. Because there's people I like from everywhere, and if I've learned anything about YouTube, it's that no matter what you say, a lot of the times people are going to support the people they support, and they know that person's faults, but they like them. So like they're going to overlook it, and I can't blame them because I've done the same thing. So, you know, whatever. It's YouTube. You know, it's not the real world. But yeah, so I'm going to get off of here and make sure to give this video a like. If you haven't subscribed to me, please consider subscribing to me, because after I get through these 2 videos, I'm going to be on a lot more. I actually do have this entire week off from school, so I will be on quite frequently, daily actually. And I'm just going to, after these 2 videos, I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. You know, this isn't going to be no, well, you'll see. You'll see. Actions speak louder than words do. Why is my phone blowing up? Is somebody else talking about me now? I mean, I'm sure. You guys should see the notifications that I have. And, you know, y'all, a lot of you are real clever, you know, the writing me nasty comments and then deleting them. But yeah, so I am going to get off of here and I'm going to upload them. And I just encourage people to just hear both sides before they make a judgment. But yeah, all right, guys, hold on one second. Let's see. Did I have anything else to show today? I don't think so. Yeah, have a great day, guys.